Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman ba Union Budget 2026 to 2027 laga opore February 1 de announce kora bichide Union Budget laga opore press briefing ekta aji yade BJP office Dimapur ba lowolese aji laga press briefing do PHED and Corporation Minister Jacob Zhimomi ba press briefing do head korolese abia mekhan itu press briefing laga opore details pra sai sabo
Media fraternity, the friends of BJP Nagaland, on behalf of the party, I would like to warmly welcome and thank each one of you for your esteemed presence this afternoon. The purpose of today's press briefing is on just concluded Union Budget, which was presented by our Honorable Finance Minister, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman. The focus of our press briefing will be on how the Union Budget impacts our economic decisions, with of course reference to our Northeast and Nagaland in particular. Today's program will be conducted by our most Honorable Minister Sir Jacob Zhimomi, Department for PHED and Corporation, Government of Nagaland. But before we proceed, please allow me to introduce the members on the panel. Our sir, he requires he needs no introduction. Our most honorable Sir Jacob Zhimomi ji, Minister for PHED and Corporation, Government of Nagaland. Next is Shri Shekishe Achumi, the President Dimapur District BJP. Next is Madam Tafi Snob, State Executive Member and Member of the Budget Prachar Abhiyan Committee Nagaland. The last one on my left is Sir Zhimomi Kikol, the Senior Vice President of BJP Nagaland. And I'm Mr. N. Kakutu Chishi, the Chief Spokesperson and the Convener of the Union Budget Prachar Abhiyan. To begin with, I request our Honorable Sir to please take your time.
Thank you, Moderator. Members from the state, Bharatiya Janata Party, state office bearers, my friends from the press, thank you for covering this program today. As mentioned by the moderator, I will be speaking on the Union Government's budget for 2026 and 27, presented by the Honorable Finance Minister of India, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman ji. This budget for the fiscal year 2026-27 is the vision of the Modi government. It is an accumulation of the manifesto of the Bharatiya Janata Party of the last 13 years under the Honorable Prime Minister Modi's government. A lot of transitional changes has been into effect without touching the fundamental foundation of the Constitution of India. However, in the best interest and in the welfare of the people of this country and the citizens of this country, government prepares the union budget for the states in the country. In the same manner, for 2026 and 27, a budget was presented in the parliament. This was the first budget from the Kartavya Bhavan, which is the new parliament house, which you are all aware of it. Well, there are two very important aspects of this budget. The first aspect is that, as guided by Modi government's vision, the first and foremost vision is of action over ambivalence, reform over rhetoric, and people over populism. While keeping all these principles in mind, the central theme has been the Atmanirbhar Bharat, which is a movement started by Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, to make India economically self-reliant. We got Swaraj in 1947. Swaraj means political freedom in 1947. But for complete freedom, there was a requirement for this country to be economically self-reliant. And therefore, without economic freedom, there was no complete, comprehensive freedom. And that is how to start the Swadeshi movement, though it was started at the inception when our nation was born. It was not executed, and our country was dependent on foreign goods and services, which had a very devastating effect on our local economy, local traders, industries, and commerce. And since we were dependent on other political sovereign nation, we were economically dependent on developed economies. As a third world country, keeping all these views and experiences in mind, the incumbent government headed by Prime Minister Modi has started a movement called the Atmanirbhar Bharat. In other words, you're aware of the slogan, vocal for local. And this is going to play a primary role in shaping the economic policies of this nation. It is going to impact India's socio-political relationship as far as foreign affairs are concerned. And it was imperative for this government, under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi, from 2014 till today, that unless India becomes economically self-dependent and self-reliant, we will not be able to prove to the world that India is a developing nation having ambitions and keeping 2047 journey to make India a fully developed nation. You have heard about the Viksit Bharat 2047 ambition of the government of India, where all states in the country are going to play a very important role, an integral role in contributing to the Viksit journey, the ambitions of the central government, which has been in motion since the third tenure of the Prime Minister Modi's government. So this budget is basically revolving around the self-reliant India. A lot of booster shots have been given to MSMEs, to medium and small scale industries, to local economies, village and khadi industries boards, ULBs, and governance at the local level, that is the Panchayati Raj, where in Nagaland we call it the village council, where a woman-led participation in this government is going to play a very pivotal role in shaping the design of this country as far as economic imperatives are concerned. A lot of steps have been taken in this direction. There's going to be a lot of focus on the structural reforms of this country. When I talk about the structural reforms of this country, we are talking about the economic position of the families, of the villages, of the towns, of the GDP of the villages. The government is going to take the micromanagement of these issues at the local level, at the lowest standpoint. That is where Prime Minister Modi is talking about when he talk about the development processes and how everybody should be an integral part of that process. He is talking about the last man standing on the last village on Indian soil and who is an Indian citizen should not remain idle. And in this direction, there is a cooperative movement in this country. You're all aware of the movement, the slogan named Sahakar Se Samriddhi, which means prosperity through cooperation. And when we talk about prosperity, it's not talking about individual prosperity. Government is talking about shared prosperity. Everybody has to move in tandem towards the development goal and objectives framed by the government at all levels. And that is why in the budget, very clearly, government has announced that cooperative societies in the country, in all the states, they will be recognized and they can be taken as startups. You are all aware of the startup started by the Modi government. In the context of Nagaland, we have land. Land is going to be our biggest asset, and land is going to be our capital. We all have land, we all have villages, we have access to our fields, and that is going to be a startup for states like Nagaland. And that is how I am talking about the structural reforms of the government's budget, fiscal prudence, and sustained public investment while ensuring citizens benefit from every decision and action of the government. So when I talk about the action, we're talking about the central government's decision and policy making. But it percolates down to the state government. The programs and policies framed by the central government is for the states to follow. And the states and the state will have the privilege to always recommend to the Finance Commission. We have the Niti Aayog, which is a team members comprising of governing council, headed by the senior union ministers. So when we are talking about state-specific needs, if there is a requirement for amendment of the policies of the government which is to be implemented in the states, and if we feel that there is a requirement for amendment basing on state-specific needs, there is a window, there is a recommendatory period which can be recommended to the Niti Aayog, which is the satellite for the states in the country, to have state-specific requirement addressed in the governing council meetings, which we have very often. So when we're talking about financial prudence, it's talking about the budget of the family in one stage scenario, have to assess the GDP per capita income of the family. I'm isolating it down and breaking it down in the context of Nagaland in a very micro way. A person has to live as per the budget income. As a head of the household, he has to present the budget of the house in the family and plan accordingly. If you're earning 100 rupees, you must have security for at least 30 rupees. You have to see your per capita income while making decisions of how to spend the income that you earn for your family, for the welfare of your family. You cannot go overboard. You're earning 100 rupees and you cannot make a budget to spend 200 rupees in a month for your family. That will land you in deficit. That is not economy. That is not the economy Prime Minister Modi is talking about. This budget exactly reflects those sentiments. Plan according to the budget. There has to be a security provision in your budget. And you have to have the power to spend on the earnings that you make from the services rendered to the institutions or to the government or to the private houses. So that is the budget that the government of India is talking about. We have to make provisions according to our budget. A power to spend on the money that you're earning. The trust of the market. The trust that you're going to spend. Government is trying to build a trust on the goods and services produced and manufactured in this country. That is what Atmanirbhar Bharat is going to be a central theme. That is what the government is talking about. And this budget presented by the Honorable Union Minister is, if you see, it's a youth-driven budget. Fortunately, our country is blessed with a large human resource. It's one of the largest populated country in the world, of about 147 crore people, 1.47 billion people. We have the resources. And Prime Minister Modi is talking about how to develop these resources that we have. That is going to be the huge capital for our country. how to develop the human resource that we have. And fortunately, a very considerable and substantial percentage is the youth force in this country. How to give gainful employment? When we talk about employment, it's not talking about to keep somebody busy. No. There's going to be entire different vision, a very strategic placement, productivity-oriented programs. Expectation is going to be very high. There is going to be a lot of skilling and upskilling so that youth is prepared for themselves, for any eventualities in the course of the processes while contributing to the nation building in the near future. So the budget, if you see, it's a Yuva Shakti driven budget. A lot of resources, a lot of booster shots is being given to human resources development, to a lot of sectors. A lot of boost is being given to the agricultural sectors, employment generation sector, and all allied activities that could possibly be a source of income. This is what the Prime Minister Modi government is talking about, that every citizen of this country must have access to resources, must have access to opportunities and facilities. And this is how the government of India is progressing ahead. Nobody is going to be left behind. No state will go unnoticed. There is going to be a progress report of all the states in this country, all sustainable development goals, adhering to the environment and climate norms framed by the world body, where India is a part and parcel of it. All carbon credits, so that a country and nation develops keeping in mind the sensitivity of our environment. And this is how the budget is going to take the country forward in the next fiscal year. A lot of impetus is given to the banking sectors, whether it is private or government, with open arms and legs. A lot of platform is going to be created. Semiconductors is going to be upgraded. Our country lost to other democratic countries who were advanced at that time. They had captured the economies. This time the Union budget is talking about total comprehensive revival of every possible activity in this country. India is blessed with rich biodiversity, and when I talk in this direction, we are talking about the concerns of the Prime Minister Modi's government, where Prime Minister Modi is very vocal about it, linked to the rich flora and fauna of this country, especially the northeastern states. Prime Minister Modi is also talking about making the northeastern states as the organic capital or organic bloc of this nation, talking about a big boost in the tourism sector, where a lot of priority is being given to all the tourist facilities of various societal practices that have been there perhaps 1,000 years ago is going to be revived. All regions, all blocks will benefit from the activities of the government while trying to regain and revive the social practices of this nation to make India a truly vibrant nation and to be present to the world, so that India becomes the chosen destiny. When I talk about destiny, I'm not talking about your fate, but I'm talking about the destination, the tourist destination. This is what the government is going to give a big booster shot in this segment. A lot of other activities in terms of road infrastructure, in terms of medical facilities. You're all aware of the fact that the Atmanirbhar Bharat of the Government of India, which was the pet program of the Prime Minister Modi, is being given a big boost, a booster shot. A lot of medicines which is life-threatening and is very expensive for a common man to procure has been exempted. Life-saving drugs which has been imported by pharmaceutical companies, whether it is foreign or national, has been exempted, so that our patients, our common man, who needs the utmost attention and care of the government, gets benefit from this kind of privileges, and therefore medicines used for treatment of cancer and other several life-saving drugs has been exempted, at least 8 medicines. But this is just the beginning of the government trying to bring everybody on board by being transparent, accountable to the people of this country as envisaged in the Constitution and has truly taken out under the Constitution of India. This is how the Government of India is going to proceed ahead. A lot of research and programs are in the processes. We have the budget has also mentioned about the innovations and also the technological advancement of how we are sending our spacecrafts and preparing ourselves to see that India becomes self-reliant in terms of national security. A lot of interventions through technology has been an integral part of our security. A lot of experiments have given desired results, whether in the laboratory or on the fields. Keeping all these issues in mind, Government of India has an ambition to take this country forward under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi to propel India Now India is the 5th economy, but now with the programs of the government, India has an ambition to come to the 2nd or perhaps even first by 2047, which is called the Viksit Bharat 2047 program of the Government of India. A lot of innovative ideas and activities have been at the forefront of the Modi government's policies, keeping all age groups and requirement, whether in terms of education or in sports. A lot of leverage has been given in this direction. National education policy has given productive results, which has helped even dropouts to come back to the mainstream. Government of India wants to make India a knowledge-based society and very well-informed society, and that is why that has been one of the fundamental reasons why people from diverse fields, including social organizations, have worked extensively to bring in their experiences and expertise, and as required by the institutions and colleges, these people are in the process of engagement with the government rendering their services on need base. When you talk about the progression of the economy, if you see a large, huge monopoly over the gaming industry and institutions, designs in this sector has been controlled by bigger sovereign nations. The budget, if you see, is going to give us huge push in this sector, in the gaming sector. A lot of consolidated fund will be earmarked for the budget for the progression in this sector, in textiles, so that in case of any eventualities, the economy of the country remains balanced, normal, at all situations, so that the country is not affected by any untoward incidents in this global social participation. India cannot grow in isolation, and therefore with open arms, many decisions have been taken by Prime Minister Modi in the recent weeks. It is good for all of us. It is good for the citizens of the country who have worked outside the nation. With open arms, our country, if you see the programs of the central government, everybody can do business in India legally. And that is how a lot of agreements in the last couple of weeks have been into good progress, and thereby everybody is going to be a part of the program of the Viksit Bharat 2047 as envisaged by the Government of India, if you see in that light. And this is how the budget of the government is progressing, and these are the issues I wanted to share, some of the issues I wanted to share with our press fraternity. And state-specific requirement has been addressed in the budget, in the tourism sector, in the veterinary and animal husbandry sector, in other sector which is required as per the recommendation of the Niti Aayog. So I hope we make best use of the union budget and the country progresses ahead, and Nagaland also contributes to nation building. So thank you all, my friends, for your patient hearing. And once again, we look forward to meet all of you again in near future.
Thank you, sir. I think with this, we bring to an end of our press briefing. We are very sorry we cannot take questions, but we assure you that very soon we will be having a very comprehensive press conference in the presence of our Union Minister. There you can ask a wide range of questions, and to that day we look forward. Thank you so much.
That is tomorrow, so you can tell them to come. Is it going to be in Dimapur?
Monday.
Or Monday? Monday, you all can join.
Yes, we will inform you later.
So viewers, apni khan press briefing laga opor de details pa huni lucia. Minister for PHED and Cooperation, Jacob Zhimomi ba chuntu budget union budget 2026 to 27 laga opor de Nagaland state bi sanction kurigina ase government of India ra hulibi Nagaland nimide especially janibuli dibo that it budget session it will empower the youth through quality education and also empowering middle class for a better tomorrow. Etu khan ase aro heritage tourism aro wildlife conservation kan hulibi government of India ba Nagaland state kan hulibi progress kuna develop kuna age jabula especially to chuntu budget sanction kurina ase Nagaland nimide government of India bra bi bishi try kuri ase to build trust on goods and services aro every citizen or country must have काम खान kurubole lage aro budget laga hisab pra hoilibi काम खान kurubole bi yade minister babi mention kurigina ase to kwa nishna Nagaland state nimide bi aro age lui jabole develop hobole nimide government of India prabi try kurase guna bi the minister ba janebole dishe hitia gade mani hobo. For more news and updates keep watching Global Window. This is Janbini with my camera person Menkapa reporting from BJP office Dimapur.